Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. I pray that you're all in the best of health and iman. If you are new, welcome. My name is Nafisa. I am a certified relationship and trauma informed coach. I help women to heal from past relationship traumas. So if you're interested in being coached in those areas, you can find me over on my website, which I will leave linked in the description box down below. So today, ladies, we are talking about how to stand out in the quote-unquote dating world. I think courtship is the best word to use as it relates to us Muslims, because we don't really do dating like that. So we court, get to know a man. If he's the right person, we ask God's intervention and guidance, and then we make our decision and we move, right? So how can you make yourself stand out? If you are like, Nafisa, 2024 needs to be my year, okay, I need to get that ring, I need to get things moving in my life, you're in the right place. Alongside this video, I also highly recommend, if you haven't seen already, the video that I made, I think last year, about mistakes single Muslimas make. So you want to see that video after watching this if you haven't already. It's really going to help you out. Number one, girl, it's time to soften up. Yes, it's time to utilize your feminine energy to attract a man. We're not taught how to do this well enough, and that's one of the reasons why I developed my Patreon account. You can join me over there, and over there I am coaching women on how to become more feminine, especially women who have been going hard with their careers, with their finances, my independent girls out there, right? Those of you who perhaps were not raised in a very feminine home, that membership is going to be very good for you to begin your feminine journey. Now, why would this make you stand out? Because in this day and age, most ladies who think they are feminine are only concentrating on their physical attributes. How good do I look? Do I look pretty? Am I dressed really well? And yes, all of those are very important. Absolutely. I'm not knocking that down. Very important. However, femininity and how we carry ourselves as soft women is more of an attitude and a way of being. And so if you can get the attitude and the way of being right, you are likely, I'm telling you, you're far more likely to attract a lot of men, because men find it irresistible. When a woman is in her feminine and she's soft and she has that side to her, it's very difficult for a man to just be repelled by that. So if you want to attract a man in this 2024 year that we've just entered, sis, you need to get your feminine game on point. You also need to stop leading with your finances and your money and I've got it attitude. We need to rest that down, because you having that is all good. I'm rooting for you, girl. Like, I'm here for it, okay? Absolutely here for it. However, that is to our benefit as women. It's not to the men's benefit. So don't think, okay, I'm high value because I earn a lot of money. Okay, like meet me at my net worth. I was watching I think it was a podcast episode or something, and the lady was like, oh, she thought that, a man meeting her at her worth is him meeting her at her net worth, right? Meaning how much money she got. Like, I'm making this amount, you better be making that amount too. No. We really need to drop that attitude. If you want to stand out to a man, you have to get in touch with your feminine side, because that is what you have to offer that is different to what a man can offer. He's not looking to go into a relationship with another man. What's the point? Right? You want to be with a man, a masculine, healthy man who's going to treat you right. He's going to need you to be feminine. Otherwise, he's going to feel like he's marrying his fellow man. So it's very, very important that we learn to address this side of us, to soften up, and to just come through as the nurturing women that we really are. Number two, this is especially for my Muslimas. You need to be a woman who applies Islam and who lives out Islam. This will make you stand out, because nowadays, a lot of people, a lot of women are not living out Islam. Islam is just, I pray and Ramadan, I'll fast, and that's about it. It's a wrap. No. If you want to stand out as a woman of integrity, a woman of honor, a woman of dignity, you see the words that we don't get to talk about these days: integrity, honor, dignity. Sis, if you have those three things, it's very hard for men not to be attracted to you. In fact, I'm not trying to gas myself up, but I would say that those are some of the three biggest qualities that I try to possess that make men more attracted to me versus other women. I'm already married, but before I got married, almost every single year, there was somebody who was trying to get married to me almost every single year, all the way up until I got married. My first proposal, I was 19. 19. If you present yourself and you adopt a life where you incorporate Islam, it's very, very difficult for you to become an unattractive woman, unless you just have a bad attitude, right? Because even if you have all of the Islam and you have a bad attitude, they're going to say no. So be a woman who lives out Islam, because when you live out Islam and you live out the deen, when a man of integrity and honor sees you, he's going to know that you're different and you're special. And I cannot emphasize this point enough. It involves how you behave. It involves how you act. It involves your standards. It involves what you will do and what you won't do. It involves the boundaries you have for yourself, not because of the man, but because of the fear of Allah that you have. A man can never come to you and cook up some story about how you cheated on him, because he knows within you and your own sense of self-integrity and the fearness that you have towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you wouldn't do that. And that's not something you need to tell him I wouldn't do. That's just a knowing that he will have. So that sense of I can trust this woman really elevates you. And I cannot emphasize strongly enough to you ladies, if you want to stand out these days and age, it's not about walking around with a thobe and walking around with a niqab and that's a wrap. I'm the most pious person now. If you want to wear niqab, absolutely go for it. It's a great thing. With the best of intentions, of course you can elevate. However, it's not even about that. It's not on the outwardly things. It's not on the physical outwardly things that people can see. It's about who you are internally. Okay, so adopt Islam, incorporate Islam. People are going to do all these haram things. Be the one that stands out and say, no, I'm not doing that. Because you know what? Other people around you will begin to notice that this one, when it comes to her deen, she doesn't shift. So you either going to have to match her on this level, right? And now we're matching, right? We're matching the men who match us on the deen level, and that's it. So please, ladies, really do that, and it will make you stand out. You come across as somebody who has that dignity, self-respect, integrity, and he will absolutely make you stand out as a woman. Number 3, present your higher self by working on yourself and growing. Ladies, sometimes the things that's blocking us from attracting good men into our lives is our bad habits, okay? And yes, none of us are perfect. However, if you have this intention of, I'm going to grow and I'm going to learn to get better, I'm going to develop more skills because I want to keep elevating my life, that is a very attractive quality to have as a woman. Because most women nowadays, they're just kind of sitting there waiting for the man to come and rescue them, waiting for the man to tell them, okay, it's time for you to get up and do this, get up and do that. That can be men can repel that, because they want to see a woman who knows what she's about, a woman who has that level of self-confidence, right? And if you're always growing and learning and developing, you are becoming more and more of an asset to the man that you marry. Yes, because now you're a woman with all of these skills, and when you are his wife and you develop all of these skills, it's going to benefit him, it's going to benefit his children, right? The kids that you guys have together as a married couple. Is going to benefit his family, how his family is perceived, because when you are perceived well, right, when you have a good reputation, it also reflects back on the family that you marry into as a woman, right? It reflects back on your husband's family too, because people are going to say, oh yeah, this man, that's his wife. People are, oh wow, that's his wife. Yeah, that's his wife. Why is that? Because you as a woman chose to work on yourself. And you present your higher self to those around you and to the people that you engage with. So growing, learning, elevating, healing your internal problems, sis, that can go a long way, because some of us push people away. We push people out of our lives through our bad attitudes and our bad character. Again, none of us are perfect, but if we don't work on this and we always make it somebody else's problem, it wasn't me, it was that person. That person is a bad person. Why? Because they didn't tolerate our bad behavior? No. So You should always be learning and growing as a woman. It will make you stand out. Second reason why it will make you stand out is because you come across as someone who actually has their own life. And that confidence is extremely attractive. It's not nice when you don't have anything going on in your life and you're just waiting for the day the man comes and rescues you and marries you. It's much more appealing to be a woman who has things going for herself. Ladies, we must learn to give up the baggage. We need to be ladies who carry softness, who carry confidence, who carry integrity. That's what we want to exude. We're not trying to exude baggage. We're not trying to exude, oh, poor me, come rescue me behavior, right? Yes, we love to be provided for and we love to be honored and cherished and cared for. We love all of that because that's part of who we are as feminines, right? But at the same time, we're not just kind of sitting there waiting for somebody else to come and make us who we're going to become. This year, I am really on it with motivating you ladies to make sure that you become the best version of yourself because you deserve that. You owe that to yourself. Enough of all the problems that you've been going through already. We are here in this 2024 to elevate. Learn how to communicate with men. Again, I touch upon this in so many ways on my Patreon, right? I'm teaching the girls over there, my ladies over there, how to communicate better with men, especially in the wife-to-be group and also in the wife groups. It's very important that we do this because the biggest issues that we may face in our relationships is poor communication with the opposite sex because we don't understand them and they don't understand us. Now, that does not mean that you're the only one that has to work on communication, right? The man also has to understand that. But I'm here addressing you ladies. So I would say on your side, it is your job to make sure you know how to communicate with a man. If you know how to communicate with a man, you can get the best out of him. And sometimes it's trial and error because every man is different. It's not like one rule fits everybody. However, putting in that effort to know, how do I speak to a man? How do I come across respectful to him? Right? How do I make sure I'm not a person of attitude? It takes a lot to change first impressions. Once you've given a first impression of yourself, it pretty much sticks. And so it's very important as women who are looking to attract men that you give off that first impression as a woman who has respect for men in general. You have a healthy idea of men. It's not like all your broken issues from the past that you haven't healed. You're bringing it all onto this guy. And even the way you're talking about a man is bad. So he's thinking, okay, no, thank you. I don't want to deal with that. She seems to be a woman who hates men. And sometimes, to be fair, that can be understandable because some people have really been through some very, very traumatic events. But in healing and moving forward, it is part of our job to learn how do we communicate with men in a way that makes them feel comfortable in our presence. Not in a way that makes us feel desperate or that we're pushing ourselves onto them or that we're doing anything that will question our integrity as women. No, we're not doing that. But we're learning how do we communicate with men in a way that is appropriate for that talking phase, especially for my Muslims watching. But at the same time also demonstrates that, we do have that feminine side to us and we do understand how to treat a man well. It's vital that you learn how to treat a man well because if you don't know how to treat a man well, it's unlikely you're going to keep him, right? You might get him in the first place. He might show some interest, but he may not go all the way through into marriage with you. And even in marriage, you may not be able to sustain it unless you learn how to treat men well. So that is a very important task to work on. Finally, I want to say we make ourselves stand out by ensuring that physically we are taking care of ourselves because, girl, it does matter. Taking care of your physical self matters because it shows that you care about yourself. Before you can expect that somebody else should care about you, you should be able to demonstrate that you care about yourself, that you value yourself. And it's from that self-value and that self-confidence that you exude that will then make somebody else feel like I need to treat her the same way. If you show that you don't care about yourself, then why should somebody else do it, right? So it's important that if you want to attract a good man this year, sisters, you need to make sure that you take care of your physical health. You need to make sure that you're eating right. You need to try to incorporate exercise into your routine. You need to make sure that you've sorted out your wardrobe. Again, these are topics I'll be talking more about on Patreon, right? Sorting out our wardrobes, making sure we have clothing that fits us in our wardrobe, clothing that makes us feel good, right? That makes us feel more feminine. We want to make sure we're doing all of that, even without a man in our lives in the first place, because this is about what we're going to do for ourselves. But as a result, because we've developed those habits as foundations, it shows on the outside. And yes, you may go out wearing a thobe, you may go out just wearing an abaya, but at the end of the day, if your abaya is clean, if your abaya is well ironed, which sometimes, life happens, it might not always be well ironed, but the way you present will say a lot about who you are. You don't need to do the most, but you kind of need to have the basics in place. So it's very, very important that we're learning to take care of ourselves as women. And as we do all of that, the most important point is that we are asking God for guidance and we're putting our trust in Him, that when it is our time, He will make it happen for us. All we're trying to do is tie our camels to make sure that we are not the people blocking our own blessings, because sometimes we block our own blessings. So these are the tips that I have for you ladies in terms of how to stand out this year in the so-called dating scene as a woman of integrity and honor, and attract a good man, because you're not just trying to attract a good looking man, you're actually trying to attract a man who's going to treat you well. So working on yourself in these ways should really, really help. So my ladies, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, definitely make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to watch the video about mistakes single Muslimas make. I highly recommend that. It will go along with this video and help you to, pave your way forward in terms of finding a man that is best for you. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum.